Hello everybody, my name's TJR.
My name is Robert Kinsler.
And we want to talk about, we want to bring up a topic of discussion here that we feel needs discussing. Not long ago, I did do a video on the channel where I talked about cameras at concerts. Mm-hmm. And I talked about how some people feel the need to record the entire concert, and they watch the entire concert like this with their phone there in front of them, and oh yeah, everybody needs to see my Betty Boop there.
Yeah, there we go.
But they have to sit there like that with the phone there like this for the entire concert, and they're not watching the concert. They're just watching it through their phone because they're filming the entire concert. I understand taking a picture or two. I do that. I understand maybe you want to get a little clip. I get that, But I just talked about this whole aspect of cameras, but that's can be somewhat intrusive, especially if you're like all standing and someone's like this, It can be a little bit intrusive, but it's not that horrible. But I think what we want to talk about today is just some of the sheer rudeness and disrespect that we are experiencing at concerts, and that you certainly probably are way more qualified to talk about, because being a music reporter and a music writer, you have covered concerts non-stop since for the Orange County Register I started in the early 90s. But even before that I'd covered them for my college newspaper, and even before that I covered my first concert. I actually covered Queen back in the Freddie Mercury days for my high school newspaper. So I mean, I go back a long time here, back and you've seen a gradual progression of behavior that I think needs to be talked about. Yeah,
and like I say, I understand. I do too. You go to a concert, you want to have a good time.
Yeah.
Maybe you're the person that only goes to one or two concerts a year. I don't think that's necessarily our audience per se. But there's the casual concert goers. Like I said, somebody lets them out of the house once a year. They go to a concert and they're so drunk by the time the main headliner takes the stage that they don't even remember what songs were played unless they see it on a friend's video that's posted on YouTube.
Yeah.
I mean, there is, and you may think I'm exaggerating, but especially some of the shows I've gone to at like a fair. Mm-hmm. I mean, literally, you have people, they're making more beer runs than they're seeing encores.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, literally, I went to a Deep Purple concert with my friend. And this one guy must have crossed us, and the concert wasn't that long, 3 or 4 times. And finally, my friend said, "Why don't you just stay out there and by the bar or whatever, and just go
keep
drink
drinking?"
Yeah, because you're obviously not here to watch Deep Purple. Some of us are. Some of us actually come to a concert to watch the musicians. That's a crazy idea.
And to hear the performance.
Yeah. I mean, imagine that, right?
I know. Crazy, isn't it?
But it's not just at the fairs now. I mean, another example, I saw Coldplay maybe, I don't know how long ago that was, maybe 10 years ago. This group came in on the third song. They immediately got out their selfie sticks. They're taking pictures of each other. They've missed Coldplay play its first 2 songs. That doesn't seem to bother them. It's like, oh my gosh, we're missing FaceTime.
Yeah.
We're celebrities, even though I don't have any idea who they were. We're big celebrities. We've got to make sure we get out on social media. And they're not there. And it's like, I hate to think that concerts have become a backdrop for people to talk about how great their lives are, and they're not even connecting to the music, TJ. This is what's happened.
Yeah. A couple of times I've read stories where particular artists have called out people in the audience. There was one, I can't think of her name right now off the top of my head, but one female artist who was doing her concert at a theater, and there were a couple girls in the front row who would not stop talking. Mm-hmm. They just were talking to each other, having a conversation. And finally, she turned to them and said, "Would someone get these 2 girls out of here? Because you're clearly not here for the show."
Yeah.
I think there's people who'd rather have your seats, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I don't know if security escorted them out or what. I don't know if you can do that, if you can escort them out. But she called them out in front of the entire audience. And I was kind of glad she did, because why are you there?
I know.
I mean, there are some things that maybe aren't intrusive, like there are people who have walked, and I've seen this happen like at U2 concerts. They walk out of the U2 concert to talk on their phone, not because there's an emergency, but just to have a conversation with somebody.
Yeah.
Why did you come to U2? But even worse, they're there at U2 talking to their friends.
Yeah.
having a conversation, not about the concert, not about any emergency, but they're just there talking about, yeah, we're here at U2, yeah, we're thinking of doing this after the show. Hey, what are you doing tomorrow? And, is so-and-so going to be there tomorrow? Hey, it's funny, my brother was telling me about this the other day, and they're having this whole conversation
so true.
while U2 is performing, and it's like, why are you here?
It's crazy. And if I start to really think, I can rack through my mind. And I've been to so many shows, but time after time. I mean, like I said, I go to Coachella. I get it. People are running back and forth. It's a different kind of thing. But usually, the closer you get to the stage, people are a little bit more attuned with the music making and the artist and all that stuff. And I've been to a festival where maybe it's just the type of performer or something. People are more clued in, and you don't get a lot of the chit chat. But I'm telling you, especially with a lot of the legacy artists, and they're doing songs that that people know. They love these songs. Why don't you tune in? And then the whole other thing that we're talking about, where let's say you have an artist that people will go there just to hear the hits, and if they're not doing the hit, then they use that as an excuse to talk, or like they say, get on their phone or whatever they're doing. And it's crazy. I mean, I just don't understand why you would spend. It's so expensive to go to shows now, as compared to when I first started going, and you would think you don't get all that many opportunities if you're a casual concert goer to see these shows. Why wouldn't you want to go and connect with the music? I'm beating my head against a wall here or something, I think.
And now, I'm sure you could say, well, the concert's probably loud enough that you don't even have to hear these people conversing in front of you that are on the phone or just talking amongst themselves about absolutely nothing that has anything to do with what's going on. I'm sure you could screen them out. I think it's offensive, though. I think it's offensive to the artists. I think it's offensive to the fans. Yes, you can try to screen them out, but sometimes if it's a quieter moment, you can't screen them out. You can't
screen them out. Yeah, you can't. You just can't.
You can't do it.
Even and earplugs do help, but even with earplugs, you still hear the chit chat.
And then there's the drunken behavior too. I mean, yes, I know people want to have a good time, but I do remember once we went to, and I should tell this story. It's a funny story. We went to the local fair where Hall & Oates were performing. And everybody there was pretty much wanting to enjoy the performance, but there were these two drunk dudes who kept, and I have to use language here, they kept yelling out, play bitch girl, play bitch girl. They were referring to the song Rich Girl.
Right, exactly.
But they kept calling it bitch girl because there is a one line in the song where he sings, you're a bitch girl. And they just kept yelling out, play bitch girl. Every song they kept yelling that out. And then they'd get up and they'd go to the bathroom because they'd been drinking so much. So at one point they came back and they sat down, they kept, play bitch girl. And I turned to them and I said, they already played it, dudes. What? They played it while you were in the bathroom. What? Yeah, you missed it. It was awesome. Oh my gosh. And they had some cool guest stars that performed too. We missed it? Oh man. Everybody around us was like this.
Yeah.
Trying to keep from laughing out loud at them.
And because they were so hammered, they didn't even.
They had no clue. They had no clue. And then finally they were like, "Oh, let's get out of here then."
Oh my god!
And they left. And they left for the rest of the show, and we were all thrilled.
Yeah,
we're all just really glad. But
get some respite from all that.
Had to share that story.
And funny thing, also Hall & Oates. You just brought that to my mind. My wife and I went and saw Hall & Oates at the Hollywood Bowl, and this was, Hall & Oates have had an incredible rebound. I don't know if people realize it. They were playing relatively smaller places in the late '90s. The whole world has rediscovered how great Hall & Oates are. We saw them when they were playing the Hollywood Bowl. I don't know if they had. And there were these two ladies behind us kept talking the whole time. Finally, I turned around and said, "Can you please be quiet? Some of us are trying to enjoy the show." They got pissed at me.
Yeah,
it's like,
I know. How dare you?
Like, how dare you talk to me? It's like, wait a minute, you're talking my ear off. You're right behind me, and all I'm hearing is you. It's like, Hall & Oates are great. They have so many. You have to know most of these songs. Yeah. Why don't you be quiet, or just go down somewhere and have a drink? Go to a pub. It's a lot cheaper than going to a Hall & Oates concert at the Hollywood Bowl. You pay more here for parking than that you would have spent on beer all night somewhere else.
So now we have been venting.
Yeah, boy, are we ever?
We're venting right now. But let's step back for a moment now. Do you think it was once better that people were? I mean, I'm sure that people always have gotten drunk at rock concerts. There's always going to be people who are very stoned.
Yeah.
Who are not, in their right place, mentally speaking. That's always happened. But do you think it's gotten worse? Do you think there was a time when it was better?
I can tell you for sure it's got worse because I've been going to the Coach House, which is a very well-known roadhouse in Orange County, California. It's been there for many, many years. You have a lot of artists on their way up their career, or maybe they want to play a more intimate place between San Diego and Los Angeles, or maybe they're veteran artists like Leon Russell played there once or twice a year before he passed away. And you used to go to the Coach House and you could hear a pin drop, even during when people were eating dinner. But once the artist got on stage, people were all tuned in. Now I've been to some to see some artists with really hardcore following, but you seem to have one or two people that are just yelling out, just making it. It's like, it's one thing. I understand people want to applaud and cheer and like if they do something, but I mean the chit chat. I mean like the thing just being rude and just you start talking to the guy next to you. Like as if we want to shoot an episode of Music Worth Playing when a great band's on stage.
Let's talk about that type
like what
of
we're
thing.
going to be shooting next week. But it's like I don't remember that happening. Even maybe 15 years ago. It's like now just about. I can remember I went to a Bruce Coburn concert at the Coach House. First time I reviewed him. You could have literally. You could almost, if I dropped my pen that I was taking notes with, it would have sounded thunderous in there. Everybody was so tuned into Bruce Coburn. Now I go to some really good acoustic performances there. All you hear is people talking, beyond the phone. I understand people want to videotape and take pictures and all and do their texting, but I mean just the rude, the incessant chattering.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate. I think at least here in Southern California, it has got worse.
I think one thing that was very telling for me was quite a number of years ago. There was a DVD release of Led Zeppelin. I think it was a 3-disc set. And it was a compilation of a lot of never before released live footage. And there were two performances in general that struck me where the audience, and this is Led Zeppelin, this is the 70s, these are all teenagers. These are all kids in high school for the most part. And I'm watching Led Zeppelin playing this arena show, and I'm watching the audience here. And this is, like I said, early mid-70s, and the kids are like this. I'm serious. And it's like they're,
I know you
there's
are.
song in between, they're like, like this, but then they're like this. And they're just staring.
Yeah.
I mean, and they're like really like just checking out their show.
And I know you're not crazy.
And not all of them are, and I want to say this, they're not all stoned out of their minds. Some of them are, maybe they're a little buzzed. Who knows, maybe they had a beer or two, but they're not stoned out of their minds, but they're watching the show. And so this is like, to me, really telling. I mean, I kind of want to joke about that a little bit and say, are you kids waiting for it to rock a little harder? Because it's not going to for some time. But I'm really like, wow, I wish today you'd see more audiences where they really are paying attention to the show as opposed to doing this.
And I think we talked about this in coming up with the idea to talk about this. We've both been to the Grammy Museum, which is in Los Angeles. They have a very intimate theater there where they do not let you do any recording, photography. It's very restrictive. And I've seen Cheap Trick there. I've seen John Mellencamp there. I've seen Roseanne Cash there. It's the most amazing thing because they're people, and it's one of these things like you're kind of told, like, look, if you're going to come to a show here, you need, because they're recording them for posterity and stuff. And it's such an amazing place to experience a concert. And you're right. It used to be like that in way more settings than the Grammy Museum. It used to be like at the Coach House, even mainstream concert venues, I think. As I recall, when I saw Queen, I don't remember all the chattering. People seemed pretty. They might have clapped along, or "We Will Rock You." Everybody's doing their
of course,
stuff like that. But that's in tune with the band, and everybody's on the same musical page here. Today, you have people just don't care about the band is third or fourth priority why they're there at the show,
as opposed to taking their selfies and talking to their neighbor about doing their laundry
or going
tomorrow.
on beer runs or whatever they're doing. It's just crazy. And I think probably most of the people that enjoy watching our episodes and kind of they're probably on the same page as us. They're really into the music. They love these artists.
You go to the concert to watch the concert.
Yeah.
You don't go there to keep getting beer. If you're otherwise, why don't you just stay there at the bar?
Yeah,
just stay there at the bar.
Yeah, exactly.
Please do us all a favor. Just stay at the bar.
I'm getting depressed thinking about it.
So, okay, but I get the feeling that things have changed, and I'm not sure what it is that has made it more about yourself. I mean, granted, of course, once upon a time at concerts, you were frisked before you walked into a concert. They wouldn't let you go in with any cameras or any recording equipment. But once cell phones came along, you couldn't, you can't deny people their phones because they may need them for an emergency. You can't deny that from them. But with those phones come cameras. With those phones come people who start texting and Facebooking. I guess that's quiet, but still you got it's like being in the movie theaters when people are texting during a movie and you got that bright light. If they're a few seats below you in those arena seats, that's kind of shining in your eyes, and that's like that's annoying as
very distractive,
That's, I want to if If I had rocks, I'd throw a rock at them.
Yeah.
And it gets to the point where it's kind of like, yeah, you could complain to these people, but to a certain extent, it's kind of like complaining to the ocean about being wet.
Yeah, I know. It's very true.
It's almost like
the ship has sailed already, like we both say. I mean, it's just, you know, there was a time, like I'll never forget, I went to a Steely Dan concert. The guy next to me had a big, bright phone. This is when they were pretty new. And I said, hey, can you stop that during the concert? Can you wait to the break? And he got mad. And he said, well, you're doing something. I go, well, yeah, I'm taking notes for the register, but you couldn't even, my pen's barely, just taking a few small notes on a small pad.
Your notepad is not like blinding people.
I wasn't, and I don't use a pen light or anything like that during the show, maybe during the break or something. But and it's like, no, I'm not disrupting you. I'm just quietly kind of doing this.
And you're a reporter.
Yeah, and I'm a reporter. This guy was just, I don't know what he was doing. It's like, and not only was it Steely Dan, but it was Steely Dan playing Asia in its entirety.
Yeah.
And we had amazing, I mean, I was very fortunate that, you know, through the registrar I got grades. So not only, you could say, well, maybe he's a mile and a half from the stage. He wasn't. He probably paid, I don't know what he paid. He bought these expensive seats near the stage for Steely Dan, and he's not even watching Steely Dan do Asia, and it was an amazing concert.
And he's probably texting about a football game.
Yeah, or something like that. It just makes no sense. I just don't get it. Yeah. You know, I just don't. But maybe some of our viewers can help fill me in. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyways, though, I'm not sure.
Have we beat this dead horse, or have we beat this dead horse?
I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever finish beating this dead horse. Do you feel like joining the rant? Do you feel like joining the vent? Do you want to vent your stories? Please share them with us.
Yeah, please do.
If nothing else, you'll probably feel a little better after you let out some of your frustration. But I don't know if there's anything that we can do, anything that can be done about this. Yeah. And I don't know if there's some sort of like public shame you can give people, like really, you don't wear your seatbelt when you're driving. People, people would be ashamed to not wear a seatbelt when they're driving. That's like stupid. It's like, how can you change public perception? Mm-hmm. Can you change how the world looks at things to where people say, really, you came to this so that you could text about a football game? You came to this so you could talk to friends on your phone? What kind of an idiot are you? Yeah. To where you will feel like an idiot if you do that, and you should feel like an idiot for doing that, because what's the point? Unless it's an emergency. What's the point? Why did you even show up? Stay at home, for crying out loud. Yeah. You know, watch the concert when it shows up on Palladia or something like that.
Exactly.
Or on MTV Live, something like that, or buy the DVD so you can, so that you can drink tons of beer during that,
and talk away,
and talk to your neighbors on the phone about a football game. At any rate, though, let's close this discussion, I guess. Here, I think all we're going to do is get angrier.
I know.
So,
and let's apologize for everyone that we've got so angry, because we're not like that generally, are we? It must be somebody's pushed our buttons, and they're not nice people. Anyways, though,
but share your stories, and if you have any suggestions on what could be done, we'd love to hear them. Anyways, everybody, thanks so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. And if you are subscribed, please be sure to click notifications so you can know when we make new videos. Take care, everybody.
See you later, everybody.
Bye.